Well, I just kind of feel like everything began when my mom gave birth to me. She was very young. She had 2 kids before she was 16. And she wanted to be a 16-year-old. She didn't want to be a mother. My mom passed me around kind of like a tumbleweed for a little while. My uncle stepped in and played the role of genuine, kind-hearted, caring, loving. I'm not capable of having children, and I just want to be around children because I can't have my own. I remembered the sounds of pictures. I didn't know how many photographs. I just remembered the Polaroid sound. And I told my aunt at the time, I said, I'm sure he took photographs. And we knew he was leaving to go to Colorado because he went to Colorado at the same time every year. So we broke in his house and found the photographs. I just kept seeing photographs and photographs and photographs and photographs. So when we found the photos, I probably hit 7 before I identified it as myself. And it was just like, I think the hardest thing was realizing how small and tiny I was. And the younger photographs, I hadn't even lost my baby teeth. You know, I hadn't even gotten my baby teeth quite yet. And it seemed like the older the abuse got and the older I got, the more abusive he got. But I mean, the photographs just documented, I mean, to the smallest details, like what day, time, events. And he photographed, like one of the photographs, like he hung me like a hog. And I was like 11. And he always had personalities for the events that he would do. Like, when he would put me in the cage, he would be this personality. And when he'd put me here, he'd be this person. And then when he was done with it, he would go back to being Charlie again. The kind, attentive, caring. So I was really confused on what was going on and who I was around or what the surroundings were. You know, because he was so attentive with me. He took me to every state fair. He took me to every monster truck rally event. He made sure I had 1 million Barbies. I wore the new pair of shoes if they were new pair of shoes. I mean, I never needed anything. So on one hand, he was a very kind, caring, loving person. You know, it was just, I still to this day have struggled with a sex offender and why do they do it. As I've gotten older, I've learned that my memory is never going to be complete. I'm never going to remember being in 1st grade or 2nd grade or 3rd grade or 4th grade or 5th grade. It's just not ever going to come back to me. I mean, I think the major effects of being abused sexually, I think that, you know, I mean, the major thing is when you're growing up, you're taught to love. And when you're taught to love somebody and hate somebody at the same time, there's nothing so confusing. I mean, how do you love somebody and hate them? How do you respect somebody and learn from somebody, but hate them all together? And that carries over into your normal relationships and into your family relationships and into you begin to allow people to do things to you that you shouldn't because you don't have those boundaries because you've always been around love and hate together. There was never a gray area, you know, in our family. It was separated. You know, and in molestation cases, people never speak about that. People never speak about, and well, if your parent or your step-parent or your Uncle Bobby, you know, if he starts telling you to come over all the time, and as a kid, who doesn't want attention? Bad attention, negative attention. Attention is attention. So you're going to be drawn to attention if you aren't getting the attention that you need. And you're not understanding that that is not the type of attention you need. I am astonished, to me, why the federal government will step in and put you in a federal prison for exchanging a photograph of a 5-year-old being raped, and the screaming and the crying. Okay, if you download that on your internet, they're going to kick your door in and they're going to put you in prison. Why are they not doing that to the person that did the act and took the photo? All I'm saying is, if we have overcrowding in prisons, then we need to readjust our funding. And by God, I would so much rather my child be exposed to a drug dealer than I would my child be exposed to a sex offender. Because with a drug dealer, at least you have a yes or no option. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want to try that. And you might be pressured into trying it a little bit, but with a sex offender, they're going to get on you and never look back. It's, yes, there is some sick, twisted individuals out there, but they don't look like they're homeless. Usually they work very hard. They have very nice houses. They're not drug addicts, not every one of them. Usually behind, in my opinion, every good sex offender, there's a good woman that shuts her mouth because she's been taught. And more than likely, if you go back in her life, something has happened to her